All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this Athenian Stranger tutorial video where today we are going to look at a topic that seems to trouble students quite a bit. So we're going to practice it, the goal being that with practice we'll get better. So let's go through these instructions. We're going to write equations in slope-intercept form given standard form. Please use your ruler to keep all lines straight. Even as you write things, use the ruler. I'll be using a protractor here. Keep your equal signs lined up, make it look good. We're going to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line. Remember, you do this by solving for y and rearranging the terms in y equals mx plus b form. Show all the steps just like I taught you. Learning how to do this task very, very well and quickly will help you literally every single day of your lives for at least the next 4 years. It will also ensure you get at least 10 to 15 more questions right on the STAR test since you cannot use a calculator to solve these problems. When you're finished, please go back through the questions and identify the slope, the y-intercept, the x-intercept. Remember, you find the x-intercept by first setting y equal to 0 and solving for x. You will get a bonus test point for every single problem you find the x-intercept for. For even more bonus points, use the technique we learned to find another point on the line. This is where you add the run to x and the rise to y. Write out your x and y intercepts as coordinate pairs. If you do all this, you will end up with the slope-intercept equation of each line, slopes for all equations, and 3 different coordinate pairs. I'm here to help you, but your goal is to learn how to do this totally independently of my help. You can do this. Keep growing. Well, let's dive into this problem. Number 1, let me adjust the lighting a little bit here. All right. So we're given 5x minus 7y equals 21. The solution process is to subtract 5x from both sides. And write negative 7y equals negative 5x plus 21. And now we've got to get rid of the y, or the negative 7 in front of the y by dividing each term by negative 7. Okay, the benefit there is we cancel out the negative 7s on the left, and we have y by itself equal to positive 5/7 x minus 3. Okay, so here the y-intercept, we'll get one thing done. B equals negative 3. M equals 5/7. Okay, we can rewrite the y-intercept as a coordinate pair as 0, negative 3. So that's all we'll do for that one for now. Number 2, 11x minus 3y equals negative 18. Here we'll subtract out 11x on both sides. Now we got negative 3y equals negative 11x minus 18. Okay, we're going to go through and divide every single thing by negative 3y, or negative 3. Cancel out the negative 3's, get y by itself. Y equals, okay, negative over negative is positive, 11 thirds x. And then 18 divided by 3 is 6, and negative divided by negative is a positive, so it's just plus 6. Okay, so here the slope m is equal to 11 thirds, and b is equal to 6, which can be written as 0, 6. That's number 2. Number 3, x plus 2y equals 8. Right? Subtract x on both sides. And now we have 2y equals negative x plus 8. Okay, remember that is a negative 1x. So we'll go through each term and divide by 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2. 2's cancel in front of the y, and you get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 8 divided by 2 is 4, plus 4. So here we have m equals negative 1/2 and b equals 4, which can be written 0, 4. All right. Number 4, x minus 4y equals negative 16. Subtract x on both sides. You get negative 4y equals negative x minus 16. Okay, we'll go through and divide everything by negative 4. Here it might help us to remember that there's a 1 in front of the x. The negative 4's cancel out. We have y equals negative 1 over negative 4 is just 1/4 x. And then negative 16 over negative 4, that's plus 4. So we have m equal to 1/4 and b equal to 4, which can be written as 0, 4. On to number 5. Can't see it. All right. On to number 5. We got 8x minus 7y equals 14. Subtract 8x on both sides. And you get negative 7y equals negative 8x plus 14. Okay, divide all terms by negative 7. And you get y equals 8/7 x minus 2. So m equals 8 over 7. B equals negative 2, which can be written as 0, negative 2. Number 6. 8 plus xy equals negative 40. Subtract x on both sides. You have 8y equals negative x minus 40. Divide each term by 8. Just like that. And you get y equals, remember there's a negative 1 here. Y equals negative 1/8 x minus 40 by 8 is 5. So m equals negative 1/8 and b equals negative 5, which can be written as 0, negative 5. Number 7. X plus 2y equals 1. Subtract x on both sides. Now you have 2y equals negative x plus 1. Here it's helpful to remember there's a 1 in front of the x, because we're going to go through and divide each term by 2. 2's cancel. On the left, you have y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1/2. Right, so in this instance, m equals negative 1/2, b equals 1/2, which can be written as 0, 1/2. Number 8, x plus 4y equals negative 12. Subtract x on both sides. Now you have 4y equals negative x minus 12. Remember, there's a 1 in front of the x. Go through and divide everything by 4. Cancel out the 4's, and you got y by itself. Y equals negative 1/4 x minus 3. 12 divided by 4 is 3. All right, so m equals negative 1/4 and b equals negative 3, which can be written as 0, negative 3. Okay, that's number 8. Number 9, x minus y equals 6, minus x on both sides. You have negative y equals negative x plus 6. Now this one's a little bit interesting because you got to put a 1 here in front of the y and a 1 here in front of the x. And you'll go through, so you know what to divide through by. You're going to divide through each term by negative 1. Cancel out the negative 1's on the left. You have y equals. Okay, negative 1 over negative 1 is just 1, so we can just write x minus 6. So what is the slope? M equals 1 over 1, which is just 1, and b equals negative 6, which is 0, negative 6. Okay, number 10. 4x minus 3y equals 17. Go through and solve by subtracting 4x from both sides as a first step. And you get negative 3y equals negative 4x plus 17. Divide through by negative 3. Okay, cancel out the negative 3's and you get y equals. And now it's 4 over 3 because a negative by a negative is a positive. 4/3 x. And then minus 17/3 because 17/3 is irreducible. So m in this problem is 4/3. And b is negative 17/3. Which can be plotted on a graph as 0, negative 17/3. And we could turn that into a decimal or a mixed number whenever we wanted to. Okay, number 11, 2x plus y equals negative 3. Step 1, subtract 2x from both sides. Get y equals negative 2x minus 3. Okay, we're done there. So m equals negative 2 and b equals negative 3, which can be written as 0, negative 3. 12, x minus 3y equals negative 19. Go ahead and subtract through by x on both sides. Now you have negative 3y equals negative x minus 19. Okay, we will go and divide through by negative 3. Negative 3's cancel and we get y equals, now remember this is negative 1 x over negative 3, which would just reduce to 1/3 x plus 19/3. All right, so the m is 1/3 and the b is 19/3, like 6 1/3, which can be plotted on the graph as 0, 19/3 or 6.3 repeating. Okay, so now we'll do number 13. 5x minus 4y equals negative 20. Subtract through each by 5x, each side by 5x, and now you've got negative 4y equals negative 5x minus 20. Okay, divide through each term by negative 4. Cancel out the negative 4s, you get y by itself. Y equals negative 5x over negative 4 will be 5/4 x plus 5. So m equals 5/4 and b equals 5, which can be written as 0, 5. Number 14, 7x minus 3y equals negative 3. So first we'll subtract through by 7x. We get negative 3y equals negative 7x minus 3. Okay, we will go through and divide each term by negative 3. Cancel out the negative 3's on the left. You get y equals 7 over 3x plus 1. Negative 3 over negative 3, positive 1. So m equals 7/3 and b equals 1, which can be plotted as 0, 1. That's number 14. And took the other page with me. Okay, moving on to number 15. 8x minus 7y equals negative 49. Subtract through by 8x. Now you get negative 7y equals negative 8x minus 49. Now we'll go through and divide each term by negative 7. The negative 7's cancel. You got y equals 8/7 x plus 7. Negative 49 over negative 7 plus 7. So m equals 8/7. B equals 7, which can be written as 0, 7. 16, x plus 2y equals negative 7. Subtract x on both sides. Now you have 2y equals negative x minus 7. Here it's helpful to remember you got that 1 in front of the x. We'll go and divide through by 2 each term. Cancel, cancel. Now you got y equals negative 1/2 x minus 7 over 2. So m equals negative 1/2 and b equals negative 7 over 2. Should be like negative 3.5. So you can plot that as 0, negative 7 over 2. Moving on to number 17. 8x minus 3y equals 6. Subtract through by 8x. And now we have negative 3y equals negative 8x plus 6. Go through and divide by negative 3. Divide, cancel those, and y equals 8/3 x minus 2. 6 over negative 3. So m equals 8/3 and b equals negative 2, which can be written as 0, negative 2. Okay, 3x plus 5y equals negative 10. This is number 18. So we'll subtract by 3x on both sides. and we get 5y equals negative 3x minus 10. Divide each term by 5. Cancel, cancel. We get y equals negative 3/5 x minus 2, negative 10 over 5. So m equals negative 3/5 and b equals negative 2, which can be plotted as 0, negative 2. Okay, number 19, 2x minus 3y equals 15. Just subtract negative 2x on both sides. Now we've got, negative 3y equals negative 2x plus 15. We will divide each term by negative 3. Cancel, cancel. Now we have y equals 2/3 x minus 5. So m equals 2/3 and b equals negative 5, which can be written as 0, negative 5. Okay, 20, 3x minus 2y equals negative 10. Subtract through by 3x. We get negative 2y equals negative 3x minus 10. And we will then go through and divide each term by negative 2. Cancel, cancel. We have y equals, 3 over 2x plus 5. So m equals 3 over 2 and b equals 5, which can be written as 0, 5. Okay, so these 20 problems took 22 minutes. I feel disappointed because they should have taken me about a minute each. I'm going to stop the video there because I don't want it to be too long. I'll make another video where I go through and finish by finding the x-intercepts and the other points for each of these lines. But you see how long this takes. So 20 problems in about 20 minutes is where we should be. So if your first time you need to time yourself, if it takes you an hour, then you have something to shoot for, because I don't know that it could be done any faster than 20 minutes. But 20 minutes is something to shoot for. You know, if you're averaging 40 minutes to complete these 20 problems, 2 minutes a problem, you're doing really well. If it's taking you an hour, you're still doing really well. If you get stuck somewhere, watch this video, because it's going to help you figure it out. All right, well, we'll come back for another video another time to finish this off. But right now, I want to thank you for watching. Please like this video if it was helpful and subscribe. Thanks.